Hello, hello. Going to be doing a little landing today. Hook the old camera up. So, we're in the desert. The terrible, bland desert where I live. And we're going to be flying into McCarran Airport. And I've flown in here a few times, so I know basically what's going to be going down here. We're going to be coming in on the Sunset 4 arrival. This basically takes us around the airport. South of the airport, we turn around right past Boulder. I don't know if ATC typically routes you, like turns you before that, because it is pretty far out. So we'll see what our altitude is here, and then maybe we'll just cut this short a little bit and land on the ILS for runway 26 left, which I have here pulled up. 26 left. Here's the approach course. This is what we're going to dial in here. This is the frequency. And we should be catching the glide slope around 3,800 feet. And we're going to try to do is just continually, we're going to try to not ever level off over here as we get closer to people. Alright. So you'll be able to see where we are on this map. Yeah, we're going to be turning into Betty right now. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to get us back on LNAV, which we're not on at the moment because I was dicking around before. Seatbelts are off right now, so when we start descending, I'll turn the seatbelt sign on. Let's go ahead and configure some things. So we're going to need the weather when we get closer. So it's the 132.4. I'm pretty sure I have that dialed in already. Yep, 132.4. We're going to need the altitude of the airport to kind of set our pressurization. So 2181, we're just going to round that up to 2,200 feet. Or 2,250 feet. Or should I just do 2,200? Yeah. 2,200. Whoa. It's fast. Okay, 2,200. So people won't pop their ears too much. Alright, this is pretty close. I'm going to go direct Betty now. Here already is, so let's just go to LNAV. Just line this up. And there's top of descent. And then you're going to see us, yep, we're coming directly into this waypoint now. So we might as well set up for the approach course and everything too before we start to descent. So let's set the frequencies. So 111.5. These go here. 111.5. 111.5. We have a approach course of 259. 259. All right. Let's set the minimum. So basically, if we're on the ILS, we have till 2,269 feet or 200 feet radio, which I'm just going to put the radio in because it's easier, before we have to take over. So ILS, you could bring it really close down in autopilot before you have to disconnect. So radio 200 feet. That's set, should be on both sides. I don't think it is. Let's see if the setting. Oh, it should be. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Oh, there it is. I'm stupid. It's right there. So we got that. We're gonna get our weight. We're gonna land at flaps 30. So we have to put in the correct weight. So we're at, and it's pretty much the only thing that we're gonna lose is fuel on the way there. So we're supposedly gonna have 9.3 when we land, and we have 10.7 now. So it's almost a ton and a half less. So let's do 139.8. Let's do 139.5. Okay, I'm going to do flaps 30. So that's in. We're going to get the QNH. We're not in range at the moment. I could put in a request for it. Menu. So this is just getting the weather at the airport. KLAS. It'll take a second. Sending. And this is the beautiful scenery here. Complete garbage. Make sure this is lined up. Okay, so QNH is 3,000 even. A few clouds. And variable winds at 5 knots. Good visibility, 10 square miles. So that's easy. So 3,000 will be the setting here. And we'll do the same thing. 3,000. So when we do have to switch over, the altimeter setting is kind of weird. Basically, there's a standard altimeter setting, which is we're on now, over a certain altitude. When we're cleared to a flight level, pretty much all the planes go on a standard altimeter. As you get closer to the airport and you get cleared lower and lower, you have to put in the correct altimeter, because depending on the weather and the pressure in the atmosphere, your altitude could be very different than other planes in the area. So all planes, as they get down towards the ground, have to be sure they have the altimeter set to the correct numbers. So once they say go to 3,000 feet, you know for sure you're 3,000 feet high, and everyone else around you knows what 3,000 feet is. Okay, so top of descent is in 12 miles. We're going to just go ahead and start this early. We're going to see now we should be pretty close to this waypoint. We know we have to be at 16,000 feet at fuzzy, so let's set 16,000 here, and we'll start descending a little early. So what the plane should do now is descend at about 1,000 feet per minute until it intercepts the actual glide path that the computer made. And let's go ahead and put the seatbelts on now.
Please be seated and fasten your seatbelt.
And yeah, we're so far out we can't even see the city yet. So now we should be turning on, yep. Turning on this path right here, 120 degrees. Let's just set that. And then we should be intercepting the actual glide path soon. About 1,000 feet. Put legs here. And we're going to keep this tuned into the ATIS. When we get in range, it'll automatically come on for more accurate, up-to-date weather than what we did before. All right, and we're going to be using an auto brake, probably of 1. This is a really long runway, so we could get off at either one of these, Alpha 5, Alpha 6, or Alpha 7. They're all like high-speed exits. Since we're using flap 30, I'll probably just use auto brake 2. Maybe we could hit Alpha 6. So that's set. And now we're on the glide path. Almost. It's actually a little below us, but it's creeping back up. Okay. We might need to use some air brakes because we're picking up a little too much speed. All right, we're below 30,000 feet. This is the bank angle limiter, so when you're at cruise altitude, you don't want to be banking at 30 degrees. But as you get lower, you could bank a little sharper. Here's our terrain radar. You could see all the high elevation on either side of the plane. So I'm going to just slow us down a little bit with some speed brake, just to bring this back. It might drift again, as you know, in some time, but for the most part, should be close to that target speed. And there we go. Take it off. So I think this may be Mount Charleston over here to the left. Could actually go snowboarding here in the winter. And then it's all nothingness around us. Okay, 25,000 feet. We're still shooting for 16,000 feet by fuzzy. This little green line right here, this upside down smiley face, is telling us where the plane thinks we're going to be at 16,000 feet, which is fine. It's a little before the waypoint. Plus we have to slow down right there. I think that's a deceleration point. Yeah, so it wants us at 250 knots here. I believe this is, shoot, I forget the name of that. What is that right there? I want to say Prim, but Prim is wrong. Pahrump. Pahrump. That's what we're passing over right now. Yep. So Mount Charleston is to our left here. Remember, the city is right behind that mountain. So we're going to be kind of coming and swinging around this mountain, and then we're going to come right south of the airport, flick around a little after Boulder City, or maybe before then if we want. And our goal is to get I think I cut out there, but our goal is to get to 3,800 feet.
McCarran INTL information.
Oh, now this came in, so that's good.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 9,900 view.
So this is a little different.
37,
3003, so that's good that we got that update.
3003. Arriving runway 01 right.
3003.
Departing runway 01 left.
Okay.
Advise on initial contact.
So we got up-to-date weather. So we are a little over speed again. Looks like we have a tailwind, so it's pushing us forward. Yep, drag required. So let's keep the air brakes, speed brakes out a little bit. Now that speed should be dropping back, and you can see them up here on the wing. These are the speed brakes, spoilers. All right, so we're below 18,000 feet, so now we're gonna set that pressure that we had just, the altimeter that we had just set. Okay, 3003. And here is our flight plan. It looks a little crazy at the moment. All right, I can zoom in here. So here we go. We're hit the decel point. You can see the speed went back to 250 to meet this requirement. 250 knots. I'm gonna go ahead, because we're slowing down really well now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the speed brakes up. All right, and then the next big, once we get 16,000 feet, the next big thing is 11, 9. Let's step through this. We'll do 11. All right, so now we're turning. This should be 101 degrees. Okay, so there's right about 250 knots right at fuzzy. So I'm happy with that. And then 16,000 feet also at this waypoint. And then we should be able to keep descending after this waypoint. So it's telling us that the next descent point is right here. So we leveled off at 16,000 feet. It wants to start descending here. I'm gonna again just start this early. All right, it wants to wait to here. And then we are slowing down again here as well. So 230 at Ipumi. And here's the city. See Las Vegas right here. Gonna start to make out some buildings soon as we get closer. Okay, we're still at 16,000 feet. Here comes the descent point. That's going to bring us down to 11,000 feet. All right, so it retards the throttles. And here we go. This curved line should be around Ipumi because we have it set to 11,000 feet. After that, I think we'll just go straight to 8,000. And then we're at 8,000 for a while. And we just kind of slow down before chips, before we make the turn. I think I'm probably going to see if I could kind of swing around by Boulder, maybe. I don't think we have to go that low. So now it's starting to pick up the ILS frequency. This is what we're going to latch onto as we get close to the runway. Normally, you'd wait till about 10,000 feet to put your landing lights on, but I'm going to go ahead and throw them on now just because this is a pretty high airport. It's over 2,000 feet above sea level. And we're within range, like view of it. You can start to see now the strip and the buildings. There's the Luxor, Mandalay Bay. There's the Paris. This is where I used to live, over in the southwest over here. Now I live further southeast, probably over here somewhere, where the mouse is. And then you'll see Route 15, which takes you to California and LA. All right, so we're at 12,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and select 8,000 now as our next altitude. We're sped up a little bit. We should be at 250. So again, we have not a very strong tailwind, but some kind of tailwind pushing the plane a little bit. So I'm just going to put the speed brakes up again, bring that back down to 250. Okay, and now we're slowing down to 230. That's the next requirement. And since we're right about there, I'm going to pull the speed brakes in. And now we're going to be turning on that south leg. It's going south of the airport. We'll slow down to 210 here, and then I think that's when I'll kind of swing around. Yeah. So again, our goal is 3,800 feet by Relin. We should be able to see Relin on here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Here's Relin. So we got to get past Relin a bit, and then we'll kind of swing left, descend down to 3,800 feet. Right by that. Okay. How are we doing here? We got to be at 9,000 at Nipso. Yep, we're still descending. Passing 10,000 feet. And here's more of the strip. All right, that's Aria. There's the Link, the High Roller. There's the Bellagio, Encore, Stratosphere, Trump Tower, Luxor, Mandalay Bay, Tropicana, the MGM. Yeah, a lot of them are modeled. And there's the airport. And the company I work for is right here-ish. Right here. All right, so we're going down now.
1,000 to go.
Okay, we'll be at 8,000 for a minute here. Still not doing flaps. We're above flap speed, and if you put the flaps out early, you're just making the engines work harder because there's more drag on the plane. So when we want to slow down as we make the left to capture the ILS, I'll throw some flaps out for that turn as we descend. But you can see Relin here. So we're basically making a 180-degree turn. All right, now we are hitting 8,000 feet, so we're going to throttle up to maintain this speed. It's actually throttling us, oh yeah, 210 at sunset. Okay, perfect. So we'll be at 210 for a bit. And I might take manual control here. Just because. Okay, and where's Boulder? So I don't think we're going to go all the way to Chips. I think we're going to maybe turn somewhere around here. So let us manually select the speed. We're at 8,000 feet. Heading select should be 83 degrees. 83, we're going to select heading. And yeah, we're going to just we're going to extend this waypoint line, the Relin waypoint line, because we want to skip all the other ones. Let's go to legs, and we want to be heading, we want to intercept Relin on the approach course. So the approach course is 259. And we're going to extend that out from there. So let's set up Relin. We're going to skip to the front, and the approach course is 259. 259. Execute. Okay. So now there's a line coming straight from Relin. This is the hold point if we need a misapproach. Alright, so my goal now is to get down to 3,800 feet. Okay. We're going to put a couple things of flaps out. And we're going to kind of swing around. See if we could time this all right. So what I'll do is put 2 flaps. Flap 2. Okay, and let's flick around here. We're going to lower the speed. 190. What did it want us here? It wanted us at 170. I think we're okay at 190 for now. We could even do 180 just because it's the flap 2 speed, which is what we have out right now. Okay. Still going down. Turning in again. Might be a tad high. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how this works out. We definitely want to be below 3,800 feet by the time we get to Relin, or right about there. I think we're actually gonna be okay. Looks like we're pretty close. So what I'll do is vertical speed. I'm gonna do LNAV. It should capture us on this pink line here. There we go, we're turning now. I'm gonna set the final course, 259. I'm gonna zoom this in now. Yep. Okay. Now we're on a nice shallow glide path here. Okay, we're gonna get on the localizer. This is the actual ILS beam shot out from the runway. We are below the glide slope right now, so I think we're looking pretty good. It should, yep, should center this nice. And what I'll do is I'll keep it about 180 until we get a bit closer, and I'll have the gear down. This is a good glide slope. Once we connect with this ILS signal, it's going to get a bit steeper, in which case we'll need more drag. But until we get to that point, so we actually have signal now, so we're going to be closer and closer to this. 5 knots of wind, a little breezy, no big deal. So we're going to arm approach. When this signal gets close enough, it'll track. Now I gotta pull my chair in, get ready to fly this puppy. All right. As we get a little closer, I'm going to put another set of flaps out, which I'll do right now. Flap 5, lower the speed to 170. This is creeping in, so right now the glide slope is above us, but you could see it coming down very slowly. We're still low. Three reds means low. You want 2 reds, 2 whites. $3,800 feet is still good. We still haven't captured yet. We're about at 3,800 feet, so we're going to be leveling off for a quick second here before we capture this glide slope. You typically don't really want to level off, but once we capture this glide slope, it shouldn't really matter. I'm going to lower flaps. There's the glide slope. Okay, so gear down, flap 15, 160. Okay. Looking good. So we're doing flap 30. There's 25. And 30. Missed approach altitude. 7,000 feet. We're going to set that here. Okay, good. We've been given green light, continuous. Okay, here we go. Arm the speed brakes. So when we land, they'll automatically. And before minimums, I'm going to disconnect autopilot.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Okay, I'm going to disconnect now. Flying manually, I have the throttle. You want to keep, so I'm a little low. So the 3 reds is low. So I'm going to pitch up a little bit.
400.
There's the 2 reds, 2 whites.
Approaching minimums.
Good. Still on speed, still a little low.
200 minimums.
Okay.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. Flare out. Cut the throttles. Touchdown. Full reversers. Spoilers up. Auto brake up. There's 80 knots. Okay, and we're going to be getting off right here. It's a high-speed exit. Probably a little fast to take it, but we're okay. Okay. There we go. Spoilers in. Flaps up. We're going to keep our landing lights on right now. These could go back to auto. Crossing the runway, so we'd keep all our strobes and landing lights on. Auto brake off. Flaps are coming in. We're going to turn on our APU. Auxiliary power. Welcome to Las Vegas. Hour and 10 minutes travel time. Can lower this. Back for the next flight. Turn off the flight directors. 6,100 feet. Okay. Turn right here. Shut off the terrain radar. Shut off the weather radar. Turn off the probe heats. Now everything should be closed. Flaps in. Spoilers down. APU running. Give the power to the APU. So now we can shut down the engines without the plane turning off, which is always good. We're going to put the bleed on. And let's just park right here, just to not have to drive around the whole airport. This is not an add-on airport, so it's a default airport, so you can see it looks very bland compared to the last one. I'll pull in right here. Okay. We can turn our taxi light off right now. Strobes off. Wing light off. Landing lights off. Okay. Gonna straighten this out a little bit. Alright. Okay. Parking brake. We have power, so we could shut down these engines. There they go. Now we could tell them they could take seatbelts off. Anti-collision light off. Alright. That's pretty much it. Not quite far enough, but pretty close. Needed to go up just a little more. Let's put some chocks on. Connect the GPU. Door open, cargo service open. Could pull some loaders up. Loader, that. Drive up. Here they come. That's it. Take luck.